Hi, good afternoon, everyone. This is Rajiv S. Khanna from immigration.com, the law offices of Rajiv S. Khanna PC. Today is January 9th, 2025, first call of the new year. Happy New Year to all of you. I have some posted questions that I'm going to go over, out of which I will first take the questions I have marked as frequently asked questions. Once I'm done with those questions, I'll answer the others, which are also posted. Then I'll invite new questions. I'll probably be closing the conference in about 3 minutes. I'll lock the conference so no new people can log in, simply because we want to make sure we address the questions of everyone who's here. So everyone who's here can rest assured I'll get to your questions today. Okay? Just wait for your turn. But let me get the conference started. The first question that I marked as a frequently asked question, wait, am I in the right? Oh, this is the old, hold on. This is the list of January 9th calls. I thought I had listed a bunch of frequently asked questions. Hold on one second. What happened here? Oh, this is weird. This makes no sense. What? Give me a moment. Let me pause this conference for a second. All right, so we'll be closing the conference in about 1 minute. We have enough people here. I want to make sure, like I said, that we can address the questions of people who are already here. My first frequently asked question was about F1 visa stamping and stamping in a third country, as well as a process called automatic visa revalidation. First of all, so this was the question. My STEM master's program is for, this was a gentleman who converted from B2 to F1. So F1 visa is yet to be stamped on my Indian passport. First question was, my STEM master's program is for 9 months and my I-20 has a start and end date of 2 years. So do I have to stamp anyhow before the end of the 2 years? I'm not sure about what you are talking about, the 9 months, etc. But here is how it works. While you are in the United States, hold on, let me lock the conference. 1 second.
The conference is now locked.
While you are in the United States, your visa stamp doesn't count. We have to look at your I-94. So when you applied for a change of status from B to F, you would have received an I-94 that says period of validity DS, which means duration of status. Sometimes it could say 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years, but usually it says DS. So that means as long as you are maintaining status by going to school, you don't need a visa stamp. You don't have to go outside the US. Okay? So visa stamp is only required if you are traveling outside the US. And that brings me to another interesting exception to the general rule that you need a visa stamp. There's something called automatic visa revalidation, AVR. AVR says, I changed status or I extended status, I don't have a visa right now, but I'm only going to Canada or Mexico, one of the contiguous territories, for less than 30 days. I will be allowed back on my I-94. I really don't need a visa stamp. Okay? So that's how AVR works. Now here is the interesting exception to the exception. The question that I'm being asked is, if I schedule my visa stamping, F1 visa stamping in Canada during the visit, is that a good idea? And I would say, look, you don't really need a stamp to travel to America or to Canada. Okay? So why even risk it? Because there is an exception to AVR. You are normally allowed to come back if your stay is 30 days or less in Canada and Mexico at one go, unless you have applied for a visa and have been refused. If you applied for a visa and got refused, you cannot use AVR. Then you have to fly to India from there. Okay. So I think that pretty much covers everything that you asked me. If you have a follow-up question, anyone has a follow-up question on this, no new questions, follow up on what I just talked about, press *5. Press *5 if you have a follow-up question. Otherwise, I'll move on to the next question. All right. So here is another frequently asked question. H1B transfer, managing multiple offers and timelines to avoid future green card complications. I've accepted the first company's offer and it has filed for my H1B transfer. Now I want to sign an offer from company 2 and potentially join it. So should I make the company speed up the process and delay joining the company? Well, first of all, there is no limit to how many transfers you can file at the same time. And it's perfectly legal. The only thing you need to worry about is, are you signing any contracts that could come back and haunt you? Okay. Immigration law-wise, there is no issue. So let us say I'm working for company 1 on H1B. Company 2, 3, 4, and 5 filed my transfers. While I'm working for 1, my transfer for 2 got approved. Do I have to join 2? No. I can choose to continue working with 1. Approval of 1 transfer does not undermine my prior approval. That's number 1 thing to remember. Second thing you need to remember is, if you filed for 2, 3, and 4 transfers while you still have valid H1B with 1, you can choose to join any 2, 3, or 4 whenever they get approved. So if you're working with 1, 2 got approved, you can choose not to join them or join them. You join 2 and then 3 got approved, you can join 3, and then if 4 got approved, you can join 4, as long as all of them were filed while you were still in status with company 1. The problem occurs when you are with 1 and you have 6 months left on your H1B with 1. You filed 2 and 3. But the fourth one that you filed was filed after that 6-month period. Okay. In such a case, you would have a problem and you need something called bridge petitions. So if you are depending upon 2 and 3 to keep you in status, they must be approved before you can go to 4. It sounds complicated, but I need to make you aware that it's a possibility you could do all this. Just make sure you talk to your lawyers about what your options are, because they can explain to you exactly how the bridge petitions work. Or you can Google it online. It's not that complicated. It's a little difficult to explain without concrete examples. Okay? *5. If you have a follow-up question, press *5, please. And none of this creates any issue for green card. You don't have to worry about that at all. Area code 510, where does that belong? 510 is California. California, go ahead, please. I can hear you.
Hi. My question is in relation with the first FAQ that you mentioned. Can I still ask it?
Unfortunately, yes. I don't like it because I like to club the answers together for the recording. But you screwed up. That's all right. Not a big deal. Go ahead.
I tried to press it. You just didn't give me any feedback. But okay, perfect. My question is, you were mentioning something about going to Canada and coming back within 30 days based on I-94.
Right.
I've been here in the U.S. since 2016.
All right.
I took a transfer out to a school, then I worked on OPT for 3 years, then I've been around for like 8 years. I had only 1 visa stamp. So do you think having an F1 visa for over 8 years and still take a risk to go down to Canada and come back kind of makes sense?
Look, there is never any guarantee. Whenever you go outside the US and try to come in, there's never any guarantee that you're going to have an uneventful trip. But the law simply states, it doesn't say how long you haven't had an F1. It doesn't say how long you have been in the US. None of that is addressed by the AVR law. The AVR law simply says, if you are traveling, you don't have a visa, but you're going for 30 days or less, you can come back on your I-94. Okay? But as a practical matter, is this going to be a problem because you've been here multiple years? That depends upon a lot of factors. Are you truly a bona fide student? Or are you just going on taking degrees to stay in the United States? So a lot depends on that, and also depends upon the attitude of the person who interviews you. Officer X might let you get through. Officer Y might create a problem for you. So if you want to be secure, don't travel. Just sit tight. H1B is the best time to travel because those are pretty secure usually. So when you do a change of status to H1, you still will be able to use AVR to go. Okay.
Got it. Yep, that makes sense. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck. Okay. Then we come to, we did H1B transfer. Okay. This is I-130 for parent. Visitor visa travel during pending I-130. Any changes under Trump? So I'm a US citizen. I'm planning to file I-130, which is green card, for my mom in January. She's planning to visit in July. Can she travel to US while I-130 has been filed and pending? And the answer is, theoretically, she could be stopped because she has a green card going. As a practical matter, so far, I have never seen the parent of a US citizen being hassled for a tourist visa entry just because they have a green card pending. As a practical matter, they don't do it. Theoretically, at least the possibility exists. Now, under President Trump, I don't know what's going to happen. Trump is highly unpredictable. I don't think even he knows what he's going to do. So we'll see we'll wait and see how this develops. But as far as the theory and the practice is concerned, this is how the land lies. Now, if it were my mom traveling, I would have her do immigration pre-clearance. If she's living in India, I would say just take your flight that does immigration pre-clearance in Abu Dhabi. Because if they are going to deny you entry, you can fly back the 2-3 hours from Abu Dhabi to India rather than coming all the way to USA and being turned back. If she was living closer to Europe, I would say, do your immigration pre-clearance in Dublin airport. Okay? Because it's right there. If you get denied, you can go home. So that, I think, is something you can do to mitigate the possibility that she won't be allowed entry. Personally, like I said, I have never heard of a US citizen's parent being turned back. *5, if you have a follow-up question. *5, okay. Let's see. Area code 662, where are you calling from?
Hello, Rajiv ji. I'm calling from the Boston area.
Ji, ma'am.
And I have the follow-up question I have is, would you recommend that we apply for a parents from U.S. or India? So my current parents are currently in the U.S. and I was thinking of applying for them while they're here.
Mm-hmm.
So are there any pros or cons associated with doing it one way or the other?
I have this in our frequently asked questions, actually. If you go to immigration.com and go over the frequently asked questions. I also have a couple of blog entries, what you have to be careful about. Okay, so there are 2 points of failure in cases like this. The most important thing is the parent should not have had a preconceived intention to convert to green card when they entered the US. If they have a preconceived intention, government can say you are committing fraud. What does that mean? That means I entered the US and when I went for the visa stamping, I told them, oh, I'm just going to go for a short visit, whereas I wanted to convert to green card. That's the first point of failure. Second point of failure is, what if I had no intention at that time, but when I traveled to USA, I told the people at the airport, the CBP, that I'm just going to go for a short trip, but I had the intention to change to green card. That can be a serious problem because before Trump, it never used to be an issue. But they have started creating that issue since the Trump times, that did you have a preconceived intention to convert to green card? There are some obvious signs of that. Number one, you come with one-way ticket. Okay. Number
Right.
two, you've sold all your furniture and property in India. Okay. Number three, another example is you came with some papers like affidavits and birth certificates and stuff like that, and that got discovered at the airport. Okay. So these are some of the examples where preconceived intention can become a big problem. Now remember one thing, it is their intention that matters, not yours. You could have an intention to apply for them, but if they don't have that intention and after 3-4 months of being here, they said, okay, you know what, since you're insisting so much, go ahead and apply for our green card.
Right.
Then it's okay.
Okay.
All right.
No, that's fair. And I think something that you mentioned affidavits. And so, because birth certificates are needed, we actually did produce some affidavits before they came to the country.
So they'll
I
be
think that's a very good
they'll be
point
predated.
That would
Yeah. So they'll be dated
that
prior
would point to preconceived.
bilkul.
Yeah.
So you want to be very careful with that. I would never take that chance.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay. Thank you, Rajiv ji.
You're welcome, ma'am. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Next question, also frequently asked. Can L1A holders or applicants also apply for the H1B lottery? Sure. Absolutely. So he says, I worked in the US for last 3 years on STEM OPT. Did not get selected in H1B. Man, that sucks. Now they're in India since June 24. My employer plans to file my L1A after July 25. Can I also participate in the upcoming H1B lottery? Absolutely, yes. Would applying for the H1B affect my L1? No, not at all. Only one way it could impact is if you give a job description for the same job differently for H1B and differently for L1A. Just make sure there's no discrepancy in that. Given that I worked outside the US for a year, is it possible to transition from H1B to L1A? Yeah, of course. Yeah, it should be. If you have worked outside USA for 1 year as a manager, you can then convert to L1A from H1B also. Sure. *5. If anybody has a follow-up question on this, press *5, please. Oh, I think I messed that up. It should say, somebody has a question, follow-up question. Area code 613. I'm not sure where that is from. 613, where are you calling from?
I'm actually calling from Canada.
Yes, ma'am.
Ottawa.
Ottawa, my old hometown.
So my question. Oh, really?
University of Ottawa, my house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I actually live a little close to that. So good university, for sure. Yeah.
Excellent school.
My question is, I'm not the person who asked this question, but I do have a follow-up question sort of on this. My company is also in a situation where they want to transfer me from Canada to US on an L1A.
Right.
But I am not a people manager. Like I have been with the company. I was with the same company in US on H1B, moved to Canada, worked with the same company in Canada.
Hold on
for a
one
year,
second.
and now
Let me stop you here for a second. So we have won so many cases of managers who were not working as people manager, they were working as function managers. Okay. What is a function manager? Function manager is a person who is working on a function of the company that is important or critical for the company. It is a discrete function. I can separate and say, this is what I do. Okay. And I have a great deal of authority in relation to that function. So I'll give you an example. One of my earliest cases, almost 25, 30 years back, a very big chain came to me. They had their L1 denied, manager L1 denied. I looked at the case and I felt that this was an unjust denial. So I said, let me reapply. Okay. Government told me, well, this woman has come here and she's just sitting here in her office and in her home with one fax machine, and you expect us to believe that she's a manager? I showed them that she had made purchases worth $130 million in the last year and a half. She was a purchaser for the entire chain. Okay, and this is a big Middle Eastern chain of stores. So this woman had the discretion to purchase whatever she believed was appropriate. She was doing purchasing, which is a discrete function. It is a function that we can separate. And she, like I said, she had a great deal of authority. And this function was very important because if you can't buy, what are you going to sell? Right? So this was a great example of a function manager. Of course, we won the case and we eventually also got the green card for her. So you would have to look at, your lawyers will have to look at whether you meet the requirements of a function manager. Go ahead, please.
That was exactly my question. You answered it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. So, it's interesting. I just want to make a quick comment on this. One thing I noticed about the difference between Canada and USA right away, the pace of life. In Canada, when the pedestrian light changes for us to go across the street, in Ottawa, for example, you can actually cross the street 3 times. You can go across, come back, do again. No problem. In USA, as soon as you step on the walkway, immediately the light changes. You almost have no time to cross the street. It starts blinking 13, 14, or 14, 13, 12. There's a big difference in the pace of life. Ottawa was also the coldest capital city in the world. Back to our next frequently asked question. H4 working in the US on her Indian business. Well, that's problematic. Wife has a small business in India. She operates from USA. I think that could be considered to be a violation of her status. Everything she earns is in Indian rupees. If asked at the port of entry, do you work in India, should she say yes or no? She should always tell the truth. Here's the problem. If you tell a lie, you can be barred and you will be barred forever from entering the US. And it's very difficult to get any kind of waiver from that. But if you tell the truth, what are they going to do to you? They can't do much. They can maximum say, go get another visa stamp. Just because and this is such a borderline case, nobody knows the answer to what is it really a violation of status or is it not a violation of status? Hard to say. I would not do it if I were you. *5. If you have a follow-up question, press *5, please. Let's see. Area code 978. I don't know where that is. 978, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Boston.
Yes, sir.
Sir, the EAD is in process, and
hold on.
I'm expecting it to
Hold on. What kind of EAD, sir?
It's H4 EAD.
H4 EAD. All right.
We applied for it already last June. It's just that it's taking a long time to get approved.
Okay.
So, can we just say that it's in process and it's likely to get approved in few months? Is that something which we can say at the port of entry, or that's not?
You should always tell the truth. Whatever the question is. So if your question is, what should I tell people if I'm asked question X, Y, or Z? The answer is always the truth. So that is the default, easy default. You tell the truth whatever they ask you. Okay?
So at the port of entry, can we say that we paused the business and would like to resume it after we have an H4 EAD? Is that something we can say?
If it is the truth, you can certainly say it. Or somebody else could be running the business in India. Sure. See, she can always.
She's inactive.
Yeah, she can be a passive owner. She can be, 80%, 90%, even 100% stockholder. but she's got a manager running the business there. I think that should be okay. She's just getting the money. I mean, she gets passive amount of income. Sure, why not?
Okay, so she can say that her team handles it. Okay, that's fine. That's good. Thank you.
I think that should be fine. Good luck. Okay, now the non-frequently asked questions. F1 student business setup and program restart after mid-master break. Okay, I'm an F1 master student. However, I discontinued for one semester after 1 year. What are my options of coming back from India to bring over my company for parent establishment in USA and parallelly finish my program? So what you will need is some kind of a work visa, like an L1, that will also allow you to go to school. L1 allows that, H1B allows that. Share the procedure I need to follow to start company on F1. So you can't start a company on F1. You can do it on OPT, first year of OPT. You can even do it now on H1B, but you can't start. Well, I should rephrase that. You can start a company. I mean, you can incorporate, but you cannot actually work for that company. Okay? You can incorporate, but you cannot work. *5 if you have a follow-up question. Press *5. All right. Next question. Oh, I think I covered all these. Yes, I did. Let's see. Question number 8, I guess. H1B return after PhD Cap-Exempt option with prior I-140 approval. I worked on H1B from 2014 to 21. So you finished your 6 years, huh? I have an employer sponsored EB2 I-140 approved. I came on F1 visa, started full-time PhD. Now I'm close to completing my PhD. Given the following, the H1B I worked on from 2014 to 2021 was cap subject. My EB2 I-140 was approved in 2018 and I worked till 2021. Great. Could you please advise on the following questions? Can a new employer sponsor me for an H1B without going through the lottery? I think so. I think so, because your old I-140, of course, I would like to double check everything. But my first instinct is to say, yeah, absolutely. Why? Because your first I-140 was approved after 2017. Law changed January 17, 2017. Your I-140 stayed approved for 180 days. As long as your priority date is not current, you can continue working and keep getting H1B extensions. Even if there is a gap and you have a student status or outside USA status, that doesn't matter. You should still be entitled to your H1B extension outside the lottery. Upon my PhD, can I later transfer it to CAP subject employer? Upon my PhD completion, if I work for a CAP-exempt employer, sure. Just because you worked for a CAP-exempt employer does not change your ability to keep extending your CAP H1B because of that I-140 approval. Okay. I just have this double checked because laws can be complex and even a little difference in the language of the regulation could make a difference. Also, I don't know what the Trump admin is going to do when they come in. Have it double checked closer to when you actually need to make a decision. There's an opportunity for me to travel to a conference happening in the UK. Would you recommend this travel given that I have an approved EB2 I-140? Yeah, that's a difficult call to make. Look, as I told another individual, one of our community members just a few minutes back, every time you travel outside USA, there's always a risk you could have a problem. It's okay. And you've already traveled twice without issues. You should be okay. But if you are completely risk averse like I am, I would not travel. I would wait until the H1B. Let the conference slide. *5. If you have a follow-up question, press *5, please. Area code 959. 959, where are you calling from?
It's Connecticut, like this line is from Connecticut, sir.
All right, sir. Connecticut, how can I help you? Tell me.
Rajiv, sir, on the previous thing, so can a person have like H1B with a Cap-Exempt employer and an H1B with university parallelly, concurrently? Like, I mean, two
They are
different
both
segments
Cap-Exempt.
together?
University is also Cap-Exempt, right?
Okay, sorry. So like Cap-Exempt plus another one with university, which is Cap-Exempt.
Absolutely. Yes, you can.
So like one with an employer who filed with that H1B, 85,000 per year, something like the lottery system. Another one with the university. Yes.
Yes, you can.
Okay. And sir, then for the Cap-Exempt one, the other one which is with university, that is through GEIR, like the Global Entrepreneurship and Residence Program. So in that, like they work for the university and then they also can like set up their company. So at that point of time, can you accept funding for your company before the company is registered and that concurrent H1B is filed, given that you're still in the market research and customer discovery stage, and if you pitch into an event and win a competition, can you accept that funding?
So, the way I look at it, there's a fine line between unauthorized employment and merely accepting funding. You're not doing anything with that money. You just cannot start working until your H1B is approved. But as far as accepting funding is concerned, I think that should be okay.
Okay, so like even if it is coming from a competition, like for a pitch competition which you win, and then they give you a check, you can accept that and then put it in your own bank account. And then when you set up the company, then you can move to the company account. That is okay.
I think that is a problem, because if you are accepting the money personally and you did something for it, even though it was a pitch contest, I think that could be problematic. Okay, but if the money was going straight to the company's account, I think that should be okay.
Okay, so I mean, you're saying that you can still set up a company without having an H1B filed for that concurrent company, then accept the payment in that company, but don't work for it. And then once the H1B is filed, you can see that the funds were received, but you didn't start working on it.
I think so. And even if there's a little bit of risk that they could say, oh, well, we don't know, I don't think it's a blatant violation of laws. So even if it were a blatant violation of laws, you could just go to the go next door, get a visa stamp and come back, and they won't be able to stop you. Because violation of status is not a ground of denial for a visa. In fact, that is a cure for violation of status. So I wouldn't worry about it. As long as you're not breaking the law, even that is not a ground for denial of a visa. But, we are just acting from perhaps the purest motives that we can come up with. We are trying not to break any laws. I think it's close to pretty much acceptable. If it is not completely acceptable, it'll be difficult for somebody to say, oh, this is so far out. I don't think it is. And this is a judgment call more than anything else.
Okay. But sir, as you mentioned that not like we are just trying to not break any of the laws. So in that context, like, because now I only have the H1B with my employer, which I'm getting paid for the work I do. Right. And then this GEIR program is still in discussion, and then it might turn into a concurrent H1B at that point of time. But now if I go and pitch with a new idea, right, like which is not my employer's idea and which is something of my own, and then I win the money into that account. So
I think if it goes in the corporate account, I think that is probably not a violation of your status. But if it goes in your account, that is probably a violation of status.
Okay, so pitching is not an issue.
It's just
like
so.
Keeping the check as is or depositing into the new company's account.
I don't think so. All right.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Good luck. Okay, then we go to, which is this question number 9. I think we have 2 more after this. H1B with prior L1B, spouse options, and green card for a senior controls engineer. I was on L1B for 3 years with employer 1. Wife was on L2. In 2022, I moved to Ireland and began working for employer 2. In 24, my H1B application was selected. I obtained visa stamping through the US Embassy. Now there's an employer 3 in the picture. So 1 was the L1, 2 is the H1B approved, 3 is somebody you supported and they want to sponsor. Well, first of all, I'm not clear. Are you here? Press star 5. If you are here, press star 5. I have a question for you. Okay, so I'm not sure whether you started working for employer 2 or not. What are the options for my spouse to start working in the US? Well, not too many. If she's a Indian citizen, she would still be stuck with only the H4 visa or CPT type option. No extraordinary options until such time as you become close to getting your green card, get your I-140 approved. Then she could do an H4 EAD, of course. Would this be a good path for her, a PhD? I don't know. It depends. Really, it's a too open-ended a question for me to answer. I currently work in the BMS HVAC. I understand HVAC. I'm not sure what BMS is. In the data center sector as a senior controls engineer. Are there better pathways to obtain a green card for someone in my profession? Bachelor's and master's, 10 years of sim. No, that's difficult for me to predict. Just from looking at your narrative, it doesn't look like you have any of the extraordinary options. Can my spouse continue to stay work in Ireland and travel to the US when EAD is approved? Yeah, I think so. Why not? I mean, when EAD is approved, that's again an open-ended question. What kind of EAD? So if it is an H4 EAD, she'll have to be in USA to apply for the EAD, right? So star 5, if you have a follow-up question, press star 5. Okay, I have 3 more questions left. Shelly says B2 to F1 status, premium versus regular change of status during B2 expiration. My husband and I are on B2 valid till Feb 21 after getting laid off on H1B. My husband got accepted in a master's program applying for F1 visa. Should we file in premium to keep our status active? So if you file for F1 while you are still in status, that's good enough. Okay. But if you want to start school, then premium is the better option. Can you stay in US while status is pending? But B2 will expire? Yes. If you are waiting for F1 approval, you can stay. But if you want to start school, then you should premium it. Yeah, they can, and school can defer admissions. That also happens all the time. So while the B2F conversion is going on, if necessary, they can, and the government will accommodate that. But I think the better option is to premium it if you want to start school soon. Star 5, if you have a follow-up question, press star 5. Okay. Let's see, this one is area code 510. That's probably California, right? Are you calling from California 510? Hello? Area code 510, go ahead. Okay. Let's go to area code 716. Go ahead, please.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Am I audible?
You are.
Okay, hi, thank you. Well, I'm not 510, but I'm from Buffalo. And thank you so much for answering this question.
Mm-hmm.
The reason we asked this is because he's still continuing to look for jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we thought that deferring admission is a better idea, so that he can, while the status is pending, he can, he will find something by coming fall.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I asked whether he should start school or not.
So you can also apply for a B2 extension for him, because if he's close to getting a job and he's been actively interviewing, you can apply for another B2 extension.
Yeah. Okay. That's 3 extra months, right?
You can get 6, ask for 6 extra months. Why not?
Oh, you can? Okay.
Yeah, you can.
So, and we need to apply for that before the current B2 expires.
Exactly.
Like mid-month, mid next month.
Your application
Okay.
must be
So
in
we
their
will
hands.
try to do
Yeah, your applications must be in their hands before Feb 21st, 2025. Okay. Also, in that, in the cover letter, explain your efforts to find a job. If how many companies have you interviewed with whom, on what dates, what happened, etc. So just that way they know that you are trying to get a job here, and you won't work without authorization.
Okay. That was something that I read like at so many places that, it might get rejected because B2 is a tourist visa and, all of that. But
that's just silly
that gives
because
us
that's
clarity.
old information. Because a couple of years back,
Okay.
USCIS itself said, apply for a B2 if you have been laid off. That's a good option. They themselves suggested that.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
That's why we did that.
Yeah, absolutely. This is perfectly fine.
And so then my other question was that do you recommend day one CPT also in
Well,
like
look,
if
it's
he
not
wants to start?
it's not favored by the government and definitely not by Trump. But as long as it is legal, why shouldn't I do it?
Okay, so
That's
that can also be another option, like a backup.
The only thing I would be hesitant to advise anybody to take on CPT. I think it's important that it should be done in good faith, that you're actually enhancing your career and you're not taking degrees all over the place, which have no relevance to your career goals.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing I
So
would
just
recommend.
lastly, so between F1, like the deferral and applying.
I would do the B2. I would do
F1
the. I would.
and B2 is a better option.
I would do the B2.
Oh, that's good. Thank you so much. I mean, we had really never expected this answer. So yeah, I think this is better. I think we could apply. Can we take your office's help for this in case
you can, require? But listen, don't waste money on lawyers. Personally, that's my advice. I mean, as a lawyer, I should be telling you. Okay, but the thing is, you already done it
because
once.
I was actually.
You already done it once
we've
before.
Done it. And I actually got an RFE. Like my B2 had an RFE, and thankfully I got an approval just yesterday.
Acha. Uska, dekho, another thing is, if you get an RFE, you can do one of the two things. You can either set up a consultation with us or ask us to take over at that point of time. Okay? Because we do it all the time. We take over.
Time, like when we apply for B2 extension, you mean?
Yeah, exactly. If you get an RFE that you feel nervous about, either set up a consultation or just say, Rajiv, take care of it. We'll take care of it for you.
Great. So we'll do it that time then.
Yeah.
So we'll apply for a B2 extension, and in case something comes up, then we'll come to you again.
Absolutely. No. See, when you start making lots of money, then I don't mind you spending money, because peace of mind is more important than... Yeah, exactly. Peace of mind is more important. When I was a student, I remember we didn't used to get a haircut for 6 months, 7 months because it cost so much money. So, I mean, it's just don't waste money. You've done this.
Do you do in-person consultations? Do you also meet in case?
I am not. I am not a people person. I stay by myself. So see, my problem is
it doesn't sound like that.
No.
You are really nice and friendly.
All that is
everybody's questions.
My problem is what happens is when you do one-on-one consultations personally, you end up talking about so many different things. That consultation things that should have taken 15 minutes end up being 1 hour. So it's just
Yeah.
So I just do. I'm very to the point.
Oh yeah.
So when we are working, we are working. When we are, leisure time is leisure time. But I really seriously think you should just do it yourself. And I'll tell you my reason why I like B2 option better. Because if you look at the same frequently asked questions type output they have, USCIS says if your B2 is pending and you apply for H1 premium processing, we'll premium the B2 also. And they don't say that about other visas. They don't say if your F1 is pending. Okay. So I feel that if you are going to find a job in the next 6 months, B2 extension is the better way for you to go. Because conversion back to H1...
things are looking brighter now. Because the last 6 months have been very bad in the job market.
Ho jayega.
But now things are looking up. So
हो जाएगा. It's just I think there's been a big shake-up, big difference has been made because of AI, but people are beginning to realize that AI is not the ultimate medicine for all problems, because AI has its limitations. It can be pretty goofy in the answers it gives you. Generative AI especially. I mean, I think other kinds of AI are different, but generative AI is completely unreliable. You can't get rid of your writers and your lawyers and your even your graphics artists just relying upon. So I think some of it has to do with that. So, for example, QA checks. For QA, a lot of things have been automated, but it's still not the same as having a person look over things. So we'll see. I think it's coming back. People are waking up. All right.
yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I since I was always on H4,
Ji.
do you have any suggestion for me what I can do while my husband is looking for jobs? Like, because it's been like 3-4 years that I've been here and I'm not working. So should I book a consultation with you for any kind of guidance?
There isn't much I can tell you because work authorization options are so limited. If you can get an H1B for yourself, that would be one option. Curricular practical training would be the second option. Have your husband's resume looked at, see if he qualifies for something like a national interest waiver. If he gets an I-140 approved, then you can get H4EAD. Those are the options that you have. There's not a whole universe of options out there for you.
Yeah, or I can just go to school and then try and get
When
my
a CPT,
own,
OPT type, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Good luck. Okay, let's go to area code 510. I think that's California, right? 510?
Yeah, sir. It's me again. I appreciate you taking another question from me.
Sure.
I heard you mentioning something about David CPT and Trump not being in huge support into that. So I had a follow-up question based on that.
Sure.
For someone who's in my shoes, who's working on a David CPT currently and who never got H1B picked up and been here in the U.S. for a while. So what are the odds that I have for filing the H1B and being in my position as a general manager? What is the opportunity to apply a EB1 green card?
That's very unlikely. Because, see, EB1 green cards, there are 3 flavors of EB1. EB1A, if you are top 5 to 10% in the country in your field. EB1B, if you are a professor or researcher. EB1C, if you go outside USA, work as an executive or managerial level employee for a multinational and get transferred back into the US as a manager. Okay. So these are the EB1s. These are the 3 flavors of EB1s. There's not a 4th flavor. There's not a 4th option. Okay.
I see. Just to follow up on that, like, is there any faster way than a usual timeline for someone who's in a managerial position to be qualified for the green card?
No, not just because you're a manager, but what happens is, so let's say you are a managerial level person with a very well-known organization. Typically, that also means you've got a good salary. So in EB1A, when we do the numerical count, you meet 2 out of 3 requirements just because of that you are performing leadership role for distinguished organization and you have top 10% salary in your profession. So that meets 2 criteria. After you meet 1 more, at least you have a shot at EB1A. Okay. So that's how EB1As work. So there is some advantage to being a manager, but just because you are a manager doesn't mean that you're going to win the EB1A.
I see.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck. Okay. Area code 813. Let's see. 1 second. 813, where are you calling from?
Hi, sir. I'm calling from Florida.
All right. Florida. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. So last year I got laid off while I was on H1B.
All right.
So I moved to Day 1 CPT University.
Okay.
So now my employer is ready to file H1B.
All
So
right.
can I switch to H1B or shall I stay for Day 1 CPT still?
Oh,
for
no,
1
no.
year
Go
and
to
then move
H1B. Go to H1B. Absolutely. Start your green card. Go to H1B because with green card, you can keep extending H1B for a long time. Also,
Okay, but that's... yeah.
let me finish one more thought. When you are on H1B,
Sorry.
you can also part-time go to school or even full-time go to school. So if you want to finish your degree, you can keep doing that while you're on H1B. H1B is a much better option. Okay?
Got it.
What else?
Got it. Because they are saying like they will file my I-140 after 2 years, after joining this organization 2 years. So that's why I was worried like shall I save some more days on H1B or
How much have you used so far?
if I stay on day?
How much have you used so far?
I used for 2 years.
Which year, which year to which year?
2023 to 2024 to 2022 to 24.
I think you are okay. You can,
Okay.
you can continue with CPT until it gets to be in danger and then just convert to H1B. You see my point? Because it's right
And
now it's
also,
not
like-
right now it's not in danger. But if Trump comes and says, well, it's going to be in danger, then you have plenty of warning. You can convert to H1B.
Got it. Yeah.
All right.
And did you heard some of the cases in 2019 like CPT guys were deported due to unlawful presence?
Well, there were some sham CPT stuff going on, or some of them actually had a problem because during OPT they got involved with all these hinky companies, all these shady companies who gave them false documents. So those were the cases I heard.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Got it.
Good luck.
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. Let's go to area code 669, which is California. California 669, go ahead, please.
Yes. So I'm in India. I stayed in the USA the 11 years. And
Okay, hold on
recently,
one second,
in
sir.
2022,
I'm not. Hold on. Just hold on your questions. I've not opened the floor to all questions. Hold on. Just hold on for a few minutes more. Let me finish my questions. I am just doing follow-up questions. If you don't have a follow-up question, put your hand down, please. I discussed B2 to F1 status change. I'm not going to talk about anything else right now. Area code 613. Do you have any other question, or do you have a follow-up question or a new question?
No, it was a different question.
No,
Not follow-up.
so please wait.
I didn't know how to put my hand down.
Yeah, but I'll just do it for you. No problem. Okay. Yeah, but the hand down and up thing is a toggle. So you press *5, it goes up. Press *5, it goes down. Okay. Let's go to Kirti Tiwari. Did I finish this actually? Hold on. After getting laid off, my husband got accepted master's program. Oh yeah, we already talked to her. Then Kirti Tiwari, J1 2-year rule removal. So it's from Vignesh. Okay, Vignesh ji. Oh, Kirti, thanks Vignesh. Okay, that's confusing. So it doesn't really matter. The bottom line is, from what I understand, J1 waivers for India are not required if you are on the skills list. But if you received government funding, it might still be a problem. So you need to figure this out. Is your kind of J1 visa subject to the exemption now, or is it not? And you should call your program sponsor about that. Okay. *5, if you have a follow-up question on this, press *5. All right. Last, I think. Next is the last question. Investing while on H1B B2 visa. Legalities and timelines for EAD and AP post I-485. Is it legal to invest in stocks and earn benefit while on H1B? Yes. Don't do day trading. But if you just invest in stocks, I don't see any problem with that. How long it takes to get AP and EAD after applying for I-485? Well, I have cases where my AP came after my green card approval. So sometimes it can take over a year. But you can expedite if there's an emergency. I've been getting expedites. EAD, they're trying to get EAD down to 90 days, but it's still taking about 6 months Sometimes a little bit less, sometimes a little bit more, somewhere in that neighborhood. *5. If you have a follow-up question, please press *5 on your phone. All right. Anybody has any question, please press *5. Anyone has any question, please press *5 on your phone. Okay, I'm just going to call you in the order I see you. Area code 857 first. 857, where are you calling from?
Hi, Rajiv ji. I'm calling from Florida.
Ji, ma'am.
So I have a question regarding my spouse's immigration status and the taxes he should be paying. So he is currently on day one CPT, and he has been in the US for 5 years.
All right.
But his company has not been deducting his FICA and Medicare as he's on F1 status.
That's actually
but
legal.
Since he has...
That's legal.
Okay, so even if he's been in the country for 5 years, that doesn't change anything.
Look, I'm not a tax expert, but I do remember this, that people who were still on F1 status were not required to have their FICA portion deducted. But you know what? Actually, IRS is pretty good about answering questions if you call their helpline.
Okay. And we are actually planning to apply for his NIW while he's on day one CPT. Does that change anything? Because that would mean he would have been... Okay.
No, not mere application.
Thank you.
But I'm not a tax expert. I again warn you, I almost failed my tax exam. I was so bad at it. I hated that, all the numbers and all that just drove me nuts. But I personally don't think there's going to be any problem. Because remember, NIW is not changing your status. It is merely a step towards status. You change your status actually, or adjust your status when you file I-485, which is many years in the future. So as far as immigration law is concerned, nothing has changed. And I think it should be the same from tax perspective as well. Okay?
Okay.
Good luck. You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Let's see. Area code 959. 959, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Michigan, but this number is from Connecticut.
अच्छा, आप भी घूमते रहते हो. Yeah. Tell me, what's up?
Okay. Yes, sir. So my employer is discussing, I'm in discussion with my employer to file EB2 NIW or EB1A. Now, my profile is ready for EB2 NIW, not sure about EB1A. There is one criteria which still needs to be done. So I just wanted to understand what is better move for me, to go with EB2 NIW with my employer or to go with EB1A, which will have better flexibility. I mean, I don't know if I would be, I don't have any plans to change the job now. I'm very good at.
Hold on. So let's just back this up a little bit. This is a very important set of questions. Do you have any other I-140 approved?
No.
Okay. Because you don't have any other I-140 approved, I first want to get an I-140 approved for you. Okay. Why? Because that way you get the priority date. Plus your wife gets, if you're married, or your husband, whichever way you go. If your significant other, your married spouse, also gets work authorization. So definitely go for I-140 through NIW first. As far as flexibility is concerned, now both can be equally flexible, but generally EB1A is more flexible. NIW can tie you down to a particular job if you are too specific about the way you write out the NIW. So I'll give you an example. Let's say I'm working on federal cloud for Azure for Microsoft, okay? And I draft an NIW saying, I intend to continue working for the federal cloud on Azure. What if I leave and want to go to AWS? Do I lose my NIW? I think it's questionable. Or what if I want to completely change my area of work and just go into infrastructure, AWS infrastructure, or even Azure infrastructure for private companies? So NIW can be tricky, but EB1A, I can't see how that can hold you to a job. Because EB1A is about your field and what you are going to be working in, your field of expertise. So I think EB1A in general is more flexible, but NIW can be equally flexible if drafted correctly. Got it?
Yes, sir. Like a clarifying question on that.
No, but hold on.
But
One more
if
thought.
EB1A
One more thought came to me. But even if the employer completely narrows it down, you've got your I-140, you've got your priority date. So I would love to see that happen. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. But if EB1A is filed by the employer and then maybe like 3 years down the line, I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe I decide to, I still have thoughts, but nothing concrete. So like if I start a part-time hustle of my own, which is not in the field and then goes beyond. So EB1A would have that flexibility, but it would be tied to my employer. And then maybe like if I decide after 3 years or 4 years to leave the job and then just focus on that side. So will that be any issue, or should I just ask them to pay for EB2 and IW, get that?
I'll have to look it up. I don't recall. As far as I know, it should not be a problem. But I haven't looked at the law for a while. I have to review the regs that if the employer filed it, are you still free as a bird to move around as you wish? I think you are, but please don't hold me to it. You can have that researched. Your lawyers can do it, or somebody like us can do it for you. I just don't know the answer off the top of my head. I'm not sure. I think you'll be free. Okay.
Okay, so like whichever is sooner is better. That's what you...
I want the I-140 done as quickly as possible. You are India born. Just get the damn thing moving so that you've got a priority date. Okay?
Okay.
Good luck.
Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome. Okay, let's go to area code 945. Area code 945, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Texas.
G. Go ahead, please. How can I help you?
Yeah, I'll just explain the situation real quick. Like, I'm on H1B with company X.
Mm-hmm.
A few months back, in September, this company was acquired by company Y. And that time they didn't file my amendment to the new company. They just told me that they will file a new petition when I go to India for stamping.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second.
Uh-huh.
So, when there is a successor in interest, and that's a term of art, it has a very particular definition. I'm assuming that the company that purchased your company already knew what that meant. When there is a successorship takeover, your job remains the same, your job location remains the same, your salary remains the same. They don't have to do an H1B amendment. But the reason they do it when you go for visa stamping is it just becomes easier because the identity of the employer is clear. Now go on.
Okay. Yeah, that is one question. And the second question is I'm a contractor working for the client, and I got a full-time offer from my client.
Excellent.
So, is it possible if I show my I-797 with company X and my recent pay slips will be running from company Y, right? So, is it possible for H1 transfer like that?
Yes, because what has happened is there has been a takeover and the law doesn't require an amendment. You would have to show that you are working for the same successor in interest. You should be able to show that. And if you are not, worst case scenario, go get a visa stamp and come back. Just go to Mexico, get a visa and come back. Not a big deal.
Okay.
In the first place, I don't think it's going to be a problem. And, in the second, if there is no big deal, you can just go get a visa stamp.
Okay.
All right.
Sure.
Good luck.
Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome. Okay, let's go to area code 551. 551, where are you calling from?
Hello, sir. I'm calling from New Jersey.
Yes, sir.
Sir, my question is, I'm graduating next month, and I have applied for my OPT on December 6th. And I have been actively applying for full-time jobs. And on December 18th, I got an offer from a company, and they asked me to start from Jan 1st week.
Okay.
So last week, I started working with them.
Okay.
But my course is ending on 21st of February, and I've started my OPT on 24th of February. This was done before I got the offer, and things like that. So what do I do now to continue working? Will there be that weekend that problem happens between 22nd and 23rd?
Okay, hold on. I just want to make sure I understand the situation. Your EAD is already in hand or not yet?
No, it's still in process.
So you obviously cannot join an employer until you get the EAD. Okay.
But so right now I had my unused CPT days, so I have started using my CPT.
So you have CPT. You're validly using your CPT. Okay, that's good.
Yep.
When does the CPT end?
21st of February. That's the last day of university.
So your current dilemma is what happens after 21st February, right?
Yeah, but anyway, it's a weekend. It's not that I'm working, but I heard that it could be an issue. So I just thought I'll have
No, why would it be an issue? I'm not sure I follow that. Why would it be an issue?
So the current CPT end date is 21st of February.
Yeah, so you can't work after 21st.
Correct. I am not, because it's a Friday and Saturday, Sunday, anyway, I'm not working.
No problem.
And Monday, my EAD starts.
That's perfectly fine. I don't see any problem with it.
Okay.
Yeah, perfectly
because, I thought that, will I be out of status for those 2 days?
No,
would it be a problem
not
at
even a
later
little
stage?
bit. Not even a little bit. I don't see any problem.
Because I have started full time, right? So it should not cause any issue because
your CPT allows you to work full time, right? Your CPT is not restricted.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, so up
because
until
it's the last semester and I am allowed to work 40 hours.
Yeah, up until Friday you are working strictly according to your CPT. Then comes the weekend, you are not working, great. And then the OPT kicks in and you can continue working full time. That works well for you. I don't see any problem.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir. Yeah, that's all
I don't see any issue. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Area code 613. 613, where are you calling from?
It's me again from Ottawa, Canada.
आइए ऑटवा जी, कैसे हैं आप? What's up?
So my question is actually for my husband. This is sort of following up on the L1 conversation that we had earlier.
I remember.
So the situation is that my husband was with this company in the US and he worked there on H1B for 3 years.
Achha.
He still has 3 years remaining on H1B, and then for personal reasons we had to move to Canada.
Achha, एक second.
Now he has been with the same company.
Ma'am, एक second. Yes. Which was the last year he worked in USA?
In 2023.
2023. Okay जी, ठीक है.
So we moved from US to Canada in August 2023.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, he can go back and get that 3 years, or he can go through the lottery again and get 6 years.
On L1.
No, he's going to come on H1. That's what you asked me. Can he use the H1B? And the answer is sure. By the way,
yes. So
hold on.
Yeah.
Before we forget this, when he enters on L2, he is automatically work authorized.
No, I will enter on L2 as his dependent. It's he who needs to.
Oh, I thought you were the one. Okay.
So that's.
Okay.
No, so that's our dilemma right now. So we don't want to go back on H1B because then I will have to wait till he gets his I-140 to be able to work. So we are trying to go on an L1 route. Now it looks like we're still in the preliminary conversation with his company's lawyers.
Hold on.
Yes.
If I were you, just judging by what you have told me, I would enter USA on H1B. Okay. And I would immediately apply for EB1C. And I would apply for EB1C premium processing. Okay?
Okay.
Because you don't have to be on L1 to get EB1C green card as a manager. Okay. So I apply for EB1C, I apply premium processing. As soon as the I-140 is approved, you can get your work authorization. That's one option. The other option is to come in on L1 and you come in on L2. You've got your work authorization right away. He's got his L1 and he applies for EB1C. They are both open options for you.
So is EB1C that a green card in which you have to wait for many years to get the green card?
No. EB1C is the shortest wait. No. EB1, it's EB1, EB2, EB3, right? So EB1 comes in 3 flavors, EB1, A, B, and C. All have the same waiting time. So EB1 is the shortest time.
And so what about the other green card in which you go on an L1A? And
that's
which
EB1C.
category of EB1 is that if you go on L1A?
EB1C. So you can,
that's EB1C.
Hanji, you can go from L1 to EB1C and you can also go from H1 to EB1C if you qualify.
So does he qualify for H1 to EB1C transfer?
If he has worked as a functional manager in Ottawa for 1 year, at least 366 days, absolutely.
So if his company is also open to do an L1A, what would you recommend in that situation?
I would do an L1A.
L1A, okay.
All right.
Okay, I think that answers my question. Thank you.
Good luck, Ji. Let's see. Last question is California. I think California, right? 669. Go ahead, please.
Yes, thank you. So, same question I posted into the forum, but when I try to post into the this today's one, it was locked. So what happens in my situation is, 2023 I changed my company, employer I have been changed, and the whatever they are generating the W2 and pay stub, they have a different company name. So W2 have a PO name. And pay stub has my employer name. And I visited the India, and India USCIS gave me the 221G administrator processing. So in these situations, what I can do to expedite process to the USCIS, and can my wife travel if she has the stamping on her passport?
You mean she is in India, can she travel on H4? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, correct. In
I don't think she should. I don't think that's a very good idea. And what can you do to expedite? Have your lawyers contact the consulate and submit to them whatever
lawyer.
Sorry?
Sorry?
Have your lawyers contact the consulate and have them submit whatever...
Not yet.
Sir, I'm saying you're not following me. I'm हिंदी में बात करूं, आपको इंग्लिश में दिक्कत हो रही?
नहीं चलेगा, ठीक
है। मैं ये कह रहा हूं कि अपने lawyers से कहिए उनसे बात करें. Have your lawyers call them. That's what I'm saying.
No, not yet.
अरे बाबा, मैं कह रहा हूं, अरे, I'm not asking you a question. I'm making a recommendation.
Yes, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
अपने lawyers से कहिए उनसे बात करें. They will send them whatever you think they need. For example, this is an obvious problem that if there is another name on W2, the lawyer should send an explanation saying this is why this is so. See, many times what happens is some of these companies use third-party companies, professional employer companies that actually run all their payroll and everything. In those cases, often you can have a different name on a W2 and a different name on the I-797.
Right, yes.
Okay.
The same thing happens.
उनको PEC बोलते हैं, professional employer company. Not a big deal. Government knows that. So, उसको clarify करवा दीजिए. And at least that takes care of the obvious problem. अगर उसके बाद भी they want to...
The lawyer saying you cannot send the document until they request it.
There is no harm in faxing them over. with a letter, because there's not a lot of documents. It's just a letter that explains the situation. Why not?
Okay, sir. I will talk to him. Thank you, sir.
इसमें कोई हर्ज नहीं है. That's what I would do, sir. Okay.
Sure, sir.
Good luck.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Folks, that does it for today. We've dealt with all the questions. Next Thursday, I think we'll probably be meeting at UD's Bridge. So one Thursday we'll meet at UD's Bridge, and one Thursday we'll meet here. So next Thursday probably UD, and we'll post the link, etc. for that. All right. I'll see you all. Take care, guys. Bye.